Hi, everyone. My name is Meg Edwards, and I am a GTD coach. I can't think about how many videos I've done over the years about email management because it is just the bane of so many people's existence. And I wanted to give an example of how I got a client on the other side of email management and how he just was flabbergasted at what a game changer that was for him in terms of his day, which was so less anxious about what email was lurking in there that he might have forgotten or that, he needed to get to, right? Because he was using his mind, for things that he had to do. When we started to work together, he was pretty much kind of notepads, stickums, and things like that, decided that he wanted to use OneNote. We got that all clarified and organized. And there wasn't a whole lot in OneNote after we did that. And again, I was saying, where's your work? And he's like, oh, it's all in email. So we toggled over to email and, 25,000 emails were there. Now, of course, we know that there aren't 25,000 things that he has to do, right? So, you know that there's that point where it's just archive, delete, reference, nothing's actionable there. But when you come into your emails several times a day, you have to find that point of what's kind of old and archive and what still may be actionable. And I just feel like that's absolutely exhausting and comes at a cost to so many people finding that date of where that is. A lot of people don't understand the value of archive. If an email doesn't need its own individual folder and you don't want to delete it, you can just archive it. If you have to search for an email, it's going to also search an archive. Now you're usually down to a couple of hundred. And it's so much easier then to manage clarifying and organizing those emails to be able to find those emails that are actionable and get them out of the inbox so that when you are coming into your emails to clarify and organize, you're just seeing new things and not those old things. And so what that did, obviously, is it completely populated OneNote with a complete inventory of defined work so that now he was in a much, much, much better position that when he was going to do work, he worked out of his calendar and OneNote. And when he was going to define work, he went into his emails to define it. I find that there are 3 reasons why an email is in an inbox. 1 is you don't have a trusted place to put it. So we got a trusted place to put it for him, which was OneNote. 2, you haven't finished the thinking. So when you take out that clarifying and organizing workflow map, right? Me, I have it really handy here. When you take this out and you clarify and organize emails, that usually is about an hour a day, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes here again. Sometimes that email sits there because you haven't spent the time clarifying and organizing it. And the 3rd reason is you haven't spent enough time clarifying and organizing. Go through the emails and find what's actionable, clarify and organize it into your trusted place so that now when you come into your inbox, you're now clarifying and organizing. And trust me, we all scan emails, but that's not clarifying and organizing. That's just scanning. That's just picking things that maybe you need to check between meetings or, at the beginning of the day, did your landscape change at all? And you need to scan. I certainly do that, but that's not clarifying and organizing. And then it's just so much more relaxing to come into your work day and not feel that you've got these 23 or 25,000 emails or 1,000 emails or 500 emails. I try to get my clients in the beginning to be comfortable with just a screen full of emails, right? I think that's realistic. In the weekly review, I try to really make sure that they're at least to 0 once a week. Now, if people can clarify and organize more regularly, great. But at least to get to 0 once a week and at least to kind of get comfortable with no more than a screen full because, those emails are like lurking below that screen and you're like, oh, what's there? Is something going to come back and bite me? You don't want that anxiousness and that stress. You want emails to be a place to come that's just very neutral. That's just a place where your stuff is. And it needs to be clarified and organized. So hopefully this will inspire you again to stop working out of your inbox and to take some of these recommendations to get back in control of your emails so that you just are not feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And it also gives you a false sense of volume of your work if you have hundreds or thousands of emails, because your mind can't make that distinction between actionable and non-actionable. They just think it's all actionable. Those are just all those open loops. By taking those emails and archiving them, you have more energy. Please feel free to comment. Let me know how things are going with you. Would love to hear from you. And I hope this video has inspired you again to be able to not feel so anxious when you go into your inbox. For more GTD resources, please visit gettingthingsdone.com and David Allen's YouTube channel. For more information on GTD coaching, please email us at info@gtdfocus.com or visit our website at gtdfocus.com.